This week is Parsha Tetzaveh, and it's also Shabbat Zachor. It is the Shabbat before Purim. Is there any connection between the Parsha and the story of Purim, the Megillah? And I think there is. In Parsha Tetzaveh, we learn about the big day Kohana, the garments of the Kohanim. A regular Kohen had 4 vestments, and the Kohen Gadol had 8 vestments, some of which contained gold thread, some of which were very, very beautiful. L'chavod u'letifaret, they were for honor and for glory and for splendor. And indeed we find that at the party that Achashverosh threw, this massive party where everybody was invited, which is mentioned in the beginning of the Megillah, in the capital city of Shushan, the Megillah hints to the fact that at that party Achashverosh brought out the spoils of Jerusalem. The Babylonians had destroyed the temple some 70 years before or so, and they had brought them all of the kalim, all of the different utensils from the temple, including the big day kohuna, including the garments of the high priest. And at this meal, this great meal in Shushan, which Achashverosh was showing off his power and his renown and his splendor after 3 years on the throne, he took out the spoils of the temple in front of Jews, and this must have been very, very hard for them to deal with. He took out the utensils of the Beit HaMikdash, but he himself dressed himself in the garments of the high priest. Achashverosh, who was a king, he felt that these were appropriate for him. And of course they were not. They could only be worn by one person in the nation, and that was a Kohen Gadol, and certainly not by somebody who could never be a Kohen Gadol, in this case, this Gentile king. And I'm reminded of a statement of our sages, where our sages say that if somebody gets up, some lowly person gets up, and he puts on the garment of a Talmud Chacham, of a Torah scholar, then that is an absolute disgrace. Because it is not the clothes that make you what you are. The clothes should be a representation of your inner being. That's what they are. The clothes, if you put on the clothes of a fireman, that doesn't make you a fireman. If you put on the clothes of an astronaut, it doesn't make you an astronaut. First you have to train how to do that. And then you put on the vestments. Before a person can be the Kohen Gadol, they have to be a Kohen. And they have to be the greatest Kohen from amongst all of the Kohanim. If a person wants to dress in Babylon, they used to have certain clothes that were only worn by Torah scholars. And for a regular person, an Amaretz, an ignoramus, to put on those clothes meant nothing, meant absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, today we have people who dress up as Torah scholars in clothing that people associate with being a Torah scholar, but they're the furthest thing from it. Their behavior is absolutely crass. In the same way that Achashverosh at the party, wearing the clothing of the Kohen Gadol, got completely drunk and embarrassed himself. We can't play the part. We have to be the part. You can't dress up as a Torah scholar. You have to be a Torah scholar. Hashem wants that which is within, not that which is without. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom and a Purim Sameach.